Two criminal cases just collapsed in this courtroom, and it wasn't because the defense won an argument. It was because the prosecution wasn't ready. Watch closely, because this is how cases quietly fall apart.
Case of the People State of Michigan versus Cody Jolly.
Andrew Childers appearing on behalf of the people.
Mr. Jolly, today are you going to state your name for the record?
Yeah, Cody Lee Jolly.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Jolly, this is the date and time set for your preliminary examination, what we had set before. And since you're representing yourself at this preliminary examination, I'm going to once again apprise you that you are before the court on charges that allege that on or about August 10th of 2024 at the location of 2201 Hogback Road, Pittsfield Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, that you did make an assault on a prison employee or employment or an employee of a place of confinement. You understand that charge, sir?
No, could you say it more? Yeah, I understand. But I got the discovery here. I couldn't hear you there.
Okay. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years incarceration, $2,500 fine plus court costs. You understand the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right. And you're electing still to represent yourself?
Yes, I am.
All right. There's great peril in representing yourself. You need to be aware of that. The court won't treat you any better, won't treat you any worse by you representing yourself. I would further advise you that if at any point you wish to be represented by an attorney, then you should let the court know at that point. And I will do my best to arrange that you have an attorney to represent you. You understand that, sir?
I do.
Okay. All right. Are we ready to proceed?
Your Honor, the people are ready to proceed with their preliminary examination, and I did hear Mr. Jolly acknowledge on the record that he does have the police report now that was served, I believe, Thursday night or Friday by jail staff, and I provided the court with a copy of the proof of service. The people are ready to proceed. We intend on calling one witness when the court is ready.
All right, very good. And I do have the proof of service in the file, and you may proceed then, Mr. Tip.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people would call Officer John Apple to the stand.
Sir, please come forward to be sworn.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give me the truth and nothing but the truth, so
Yes, I do.
have a seat, state and spell out your name.
Hello, I'm Officer John Apple, JOHN.
All right, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, how are you currently employed?
I work at the Washington County Sheriff's Office in the corrections division,
And how long have you worked in the corrections division of the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office?
approximately 18 months.
Okay. Were you working in that capacity of August of last year, 2024, specifically August 10th?
Yes.
Okay. And you were working in the Washtenaw County Jail? What's your shift on that time, on that day?
I believe it was noon shift, it was 3 o'clock to 11.
3 p.m. to 11 p.m.? Okay. Directing your attention to around 5 o'clock in the afternoon or early evening on August the 10th, 2024, what were your job duties in the Washtenaw County Jail at that time? What were you doing?
I believe at that time we were doing our meal pass, make sure everyone gets dinner for the night. In the specific housing we were at, that was a door-to-door feeding unit, so you work with a incarcerated individual, worker, or trustee, door-to-door do meal pass.
Okay. And what specific block or area of the jail were you working at that
I was
time?
working at A block that also has our max housing unit and observation unit.
So it has max.
And just like that, recess. These pauses aren't just coffee breaks. They're often where negotiations happen, decisions get made, and sometimes entire cases quietly change direction. Question is, what do you think just happened off camera?
So it has max housing observation unit, and that is within the A block of the jail.
Correct.
Okay. And you said you were passing out dinner effectively?
Correct.
Okay. Are you familiar with an inmate by the name of Cody Jolly?
I am, sir.
Was that individual housed on that block at that time?
He was.
Okay. I don't know, Your Honor, is the screen that in front of Officer Apple the same screen that we're seeing, or is that screen black?
It should be this.
Okay.
Well, no, he is, yes, he is seeing what we're, I guess, primarily that, the one that's moving.
Okay.
is the one that he's seeing, right?
Officer Apple, can you identify anyone on the screen in front of you that you recognize from that date of August 10th, 2024?
I can't, sir. I see an incarcerated individual, Cody Jolly.
Okay. And can you describe what they're wearing on the screen so we know who you're talking about?
Orange pants and a white long sleeve t-shirt.
Thank you. Your Honor, may the record reflect identification of defendant Cody Jolly.
Record shall so reflect without objection.
So Mr. Jolly was housed on A block and that's where you were passing out meals on August the 10th of 2024?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What, if anything, occurred when you had an interaction with Mr. Jolly on that date and time?
When I approached his door and breached his door to pass him his dinner for the night, he asked me if he could have another tray. He was sitting on his bed in the unit at the time. I told him that, if I have any extras, I'll circle back to him. And when I turned to collect a beverage for him, he began to stand up, and I believed that he was coming to approach me to grab his drink. But at that point in time, he began to strike me in my head and face area. We got in a bit of a scuffle. I tried to gain control of Mr. Jolly. He kept delivering strikes to me. So I delivered strikes back in self-defense. Was able to gain control of Mr. Jolly to the point where I could get back to my radio and essentially call for backup. In the jail, we called an available officer call.
Okay. And I'm going to just unpack that a little bit, Officer Apple. So you passed Mr. Jolly his tray of food,
Right.
and then you had turned to retrieve the beverage from the cart.
Right.
And where was that cart located?
It was just off to my right, so it was almost right in front of the store. I had an inmate worker helping me pass trays at the time, so I turned to him to get the cup. As I faced Mr. Jolly, he began to stand up. Like I said, I believe he was coming to meet me halfway for the beverage, and he began to strike me.
Okay. Other than yourself and the inmate who was assisting you, were there any other corrections officers in that area at that time?
No, sir.
Okay. Did Mr. Jolly say anything to you as he stood up and began, I guess, to kind of advance towards you?
No, sir.
Okay. You said he struck you in your face.
Right.
Do you have any idea approximately how many times?
3 to 4 times.
Okay. Do you recall, was that closed fist, open fist, slap? Can you give us any detail?
Close fit. So it was kind of towards the top left side of my head and my face.
And
Knocking my glasses off.
Okay, so kind of, you said left side of your head, above your eye. Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. After he struck you a few times, you were able to basically strike him back in self-defense and eventually get control over Mr. Jolly. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did other jail staff respond to assist?
Once I got control of Mr. Jolly and was able to get back to my radio, during the scuffle, I got knocked off as well as my glasses. So I was on top of Mr. Jolly at the time, was able to recover my radio and get that call out, and then other officers did respond.
Okay. Did you suffer any sort of injuries from this?
Superficial injuries, bruising, soreness, no long-term surgical. And I did get sent out to St. Joe's at the time, or the Trinity Health emergency room, and then I had to do a follow-up, make sure I didn't have a concussion or anything before I could return to work.
Okay. And just so we're clear, the Washtenaw County Jail, is that located? I can never get this right. Is that technically in the city of Ann Arbor? No, Pittsfield Township. Okay. In Washtenaw County.
Did you catch that? 2 cases dismissed because the prosecution couldn't proceed. That's not a win by argument. That's a win by burden of proof. In criminal court, if the state isn't ready, the defendant doesn't have to rescue them. Huge moment.
In Washtenaw County. Thank you. I have no further questions.
All right. Okay, Mr. Jolly, do you have any questions for Officer Apple?
No, I do not. That was the
You have no questions?
Not at this time. It's pre-trial right now at this time.
All right.
Your Honor, I have no redirect. I have no further witnesses and the people would rest.
All right, you may step down, sir. All right. Mr. Jolly, do you have any witnesses that you'd like to call?
I do not. Just to remember, this is pre-trial, correct?
Well, it's a preliminary examination, Mr. Jolly.
Okay. All right. I was told it was pre-trial led to the last court date, and then he told me you were rescheduling it for pre-trial, and so I don't know where we're at in the process. It was my understanding these last two have been pre-trial.
No, they were PCC and then your preliminary examination, sir. And today is your preliminary examination.
Okay, so okay. So what is my next one then?
Well, I don't know yet.
Okay.
Do you have any witnesses that you want to call today?
No, I do not. I just
Okay. Do I have a
question was
motion?
that- So, Your Honor, my question was that it's been over a year and I'm just trying to get to pre-trial. And my understanding was these last two cases were both pre-trial. It's been over a year. And for some reason, we still haven't got to pre-trial yet. Can I ask you why?
Well, I tell you that you had a competency evaluation that there was an issue with you participating in. And then there was always the issue of your participating in all of the proceedings as they were set. So the matter could not move until there was a motion that was filed by the people, given your reluctance to participate.
Okay, well, that motion was.
So Mr. Jolly, I'm not going to sit there and argue with you. I'm here now with your preliminary examination. You don't have any witnesses. Do I have a motion from the people?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, people would move to bind the defendant over as charged on the one count before the court.
Mr. Jolly, do you have a response to that?
I didn't hear him. Could you say that one more time?
Pardon?
I didn't hear what he had said.
Your Honor, the people would move to bind the defendant over on the one count before the court and ask this matter proceed to circuit court for further proceedings.
Do you have a response, Mr. Jolly?
So, okay, my response is to move it to circuit court. We're talking about conference then. Is that correct?
Pardon?
Or if we move it over to circuit court, then we're on to conference. Is that correct?
On to conference?
Is that, yeah, he just said move it to circuit. Does that mean we're on to conference? That was my understanding, is that we're moving to conference. That would also be my request too.
Well, I don't know what you're trying to say. All I know is that what the people have asked is that the matter be bound over to circuit court for you to stand trial there.
Right, which would be moving from here to conference, which is right before trial, correct?
You would have different proceedings before Judge Slay, yes.
Which would probably be conference, am I correct?
Sir, you will have different proceedings before Judge Slay.
Okay.
Do you have anything in response to the people's motion to bind over?
You know, I would prefer, my response is to prefer to move on to conference. That would be my response to that. And then I also have my own, I would like to request again. I put in the motions for jury trial, a 12-person jury trial. And I also put in my motion for the 45-day speedy trial. I am also requesting those as well again here today. Motions were.
Right. The court has heard the testimony in this case from Officer Apple. The court does believe that the people have indeed sustained their burden of showing that the defendant was in a place of confinement, that he also then assaulted an employee of that place of confinement. And so for those reasons, the court would bind the defendant or find that the people have established probable cause that this offense was committed and that the defendant committed it, and the defendant would be bound over to circuit court to stand trial. Jolly, you're now proceeding into what will be your circuit court arraignment.
Right.
I've bound you over to stand trial. I'm now going to conduct your arraignment regarding those proceedings. So I would advise, you are before the court on a complaint that alleges that August 10th, 2024, at the location of 2201 Hogback Road, Pittsfield Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, that being the Washtenaw County Jail, that you did, being a person lawfully imprisoned in the jail, did assault a John Apple, who was an employee of a place of confinement or other custodian, knowing the person to be an employee or custodian, through either the use of violence, threats, violence, or dangerous weapons while you were awaiting trial, contrary to Michigan statutes. Do you understand what you are charged with, Mr. Jolly?
I understand what I was charged with, yes, I do.
Okay, that is a felony. It is punishable by up to 5 years incarceration and a $250 or $2,500 fine plus court costs. You understand that, sir?
I understand that.
All right. I do also have to advise you that if you are convicted, law enforcement is to collect a DNA identification profile sample before sentencing or disposition if it was not taken at the time of arrest. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right. How do you wish to plead to that charge, sir?
No, not guilty. I also.
All right. The defendant, having heard reading of the information, pleading not guilty, court will enter that plea. A pretrial in this matter will be set for
September 25th at 1:30 for Judge Slay.
September
25th.
September 25th, 2025, 1:30 before Judge Slay.
Okay, my request for jury trial, I requested a speedy trial already, and I did file these motions. Now, can you, is this where I bring this up again? A speedy trial.
You can bring those up before Judge Slay.
I've already requested it before you, though.
I know.
So
And what I'm indicating is that I am not making a ruling on those because I don't have to. First of all, in regard to any delay in these proceedings, Mr. Jolly, you were the cause of the delay. So I think that any reference you're having towards speedy trial,
there's a right to speedy trial.
it's really your issue. Your issue to a trial by jury is intact. You will have your trial by jury if that's what you wish. Again, you may raise all of these issues before Judge Slay.
I did request a 12-person jury also.
In circuit court, that's the way it rolls.
And so that's the way it goes to the speedy trial. I don't have what you're saying. I don't have a right.
You can raise that if you think that you have been denied that. My ruling is that there has been no violation of any right you have to a speedy trial, because any delay that has occurred in these proceedings is either an acceptable delay in terms of the competency, but also any other delay was a result of your conduct.
It was 30
that
days
delayed
ago
these
on my
proceedings.
request, Your Honor.
Mr. Jolly, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm telling you what my ruling is. You may raise that issue again if you like before Judge Slay. You will get your jury trial. That will all be set before Judge Slay, and you'll be able to proceed there. At this time, these matters having concluded, your bond is continued. Thank you.